Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how, or 5 easy methods that I always use to fit timber to walls. Now we fit timber to walls obviously to get a good fixing point for hanging gates from. So in this case 4x2 fitted to the wall with 5 different methods that I'll show you, and then we'll hang the gate from here. Okay, so assume in this video that you know where you want to fit the post, you know where your gate's going to go. So basically get it in position. This video is not really about where you put it or whatever, or how you set it. This is basically how the fixings that I use to fix it to the wall. So get it in position and we'll go through fixing number 1 just now. Okay, so fixing number 1 is a Thunderbolt. And for a 4x2 I would use a 6x100mm long bolt such as this. So it's basically just a 100mm long concrete bolt. It's got a Torx head and it's got a flanged, you'll see that flanged head at the end, which is pretty important. So I'll show you how to fix this now. Okay, so pretty much all these methods here, you need a SDS drill or a hammer drill, and you also need a masonry bit, which is in there. If you're unsure of that, I'll leave links in the description to everything getting used in this video. Okay, so the first one we're going to use is a Thunderbolt. Now all we need to do for this is just drill a 6mm hole right through the wood into the sandstone in this case, and then we just screw this fixing right in. So I'll show you that now. Okay, so once we've drilled the hole, just get an impact driver. This is I think it's a T20 bit that fits this head here. These normally, when you buy these, they normally come supplied with a bit. So basically, we just put that in the hole, like so. And then just pulse the impact driver, put it in gently. That's it, as simple as that. Now if using this type of fixing, the Thunderbolts, I would normally put 2 at the top, you know, maybe either side, an inch in from the edge, 2 in the centre and 2 roughly down at the bottom. The next one is their standard frame fixings. Now these are normally used to fix frames for windows and doors, you know, things like that. It's very similar to the Thunderbolt, but the head you'll see is a little bit smaller. So I don't tend to use these that much. Again, it's 6x100 long. That will show you fitting that as well. Fitted in the same way as the Thunderbolt. So again, it's just a 6mm hole right through, and then we just use the Torx bit to drive this in. So we'll do that now. That's it, same again, impact driver, Torx bit, and set this in and just screw it right in. Okay, next one is the TIMCO multi-fix bolt with the flanged head. This is an 8x100, so obviously we need to use an 8mm masonry drill bit. So again, it's the same process, I'll show you that now, only with an 8mm bit. So same again, we've got a Torx head there, I think it's a T20, so impact driver with a Torx bit in, and we'll just screw this one in. Okay, so the next one is the TIMCO multi-fix bolt. These are the bolts I use for heavy duty applications. There is a difference with these, that the first hole that you drill needs to be a recess. So we need to recess a sort of 10mm rebate, and all that's to do is to make sure when you put this in that head's flush with the timber. I'll explain that now. What to use to make a recess. I use a Forstner bit. I think this is a 30mm or 32mm. It's just to basically clear this washer, or you can use a spade bit. But basically find your location where you're going to put the bolt, recess with this, and then we'll drill in the centre of where we've recessed. So I'll show you that now. So we'll just recess it here. So that gives us a sort of 10mm recess. Now we can drill the hole in the centre of there right through to accommodate this bolt. So we'll drill an 8mm hole right in the centre of there. So hopefully you can see what we've done there. We've put the recess in, as I showed you with the Forstner bit. Then we've drilled the 8mm hole in the centre, through the timber, into the blockwork. Now we'll fit this into there. Okay, so with this one I normally put it in, you can either use a ratchet, which I do quite a lot, but if you've got a lot of these to do, you can just put a 15mm socket on either your impact driver or your drill, just to get it, you know, most of the way in, and then you finish it off with the ratchet. So I'll show you that now. So that's it, just about tightened up. The reason you don't use this is because it's quite easy to, if you've got a powerful impact driver, it's quite easy to strip out the threads. You know, and you'll find that the bolt just keeps spinning. So I always normally finish it off with a ratchet, as I'll show you now. Okay, standard ratchet, 15mm socket, and we'll just tighten this, nip this up by hand. So that one there we've just done as a, you know, really solid fixing. You know, if you get 3 or 4 of those in a post, that's by far the strongest. And then lastly is, you know, the good old frame fixing again. I very rarely use these. The only time I'll use these is when I'm putting a post on a granite wall. Up here in Aberdeen where I live, there's a lot of granite, and you find with really hard stone that these fixings here will not, they won't cut a thread into the stone, so you kind of have to use frame fixings. So again, I'll show you, you know, the method I use to use these. Right, so the frame fixing, we've drilled a 10mm hole right through. What we do is just place this in the hole. What I do is hit the end of this with a hammer and to get this nylon in and into the concrete. So we'll just tap this in. There's 2 ways of doing this. You can either just batter this with a hammer, you know, and that will create a fixing. I normally use an impact driver and screw this in. And what that does is screw into the hole, and the nylon will expand against the concrete, and that'll give you a pretty decent fixing. Right, so screw this one in now. Again, it's just an impact driver, but the fitting on the end there is a Posi 3 bit, so PZ3. Again, that normally comes supplied with the fixings when you buy them. So as simple as this, just screw it in. That's it. You can feel that tightening up as you screw that in. But when you're using these, I would use a lot of them on a 4x2 like this. So probably 8 to 10 of those, you know, spaced either side all the way up the post. Okay, so we'll go through these in order, what they look like. This is a Thunderbolt. This is the one I tend to use that all the time now. Probably about six of these in each sort of post. These are excellent. This is just your standard frame fixings, so I don't tend to use. This is a TIMCO. This is the multi-fix bolt, 8x100. These are good. They're just as good as these. They do the same job. Only the benefit with these is you don't need to recess the hole or use a washer. So these are good, but they're fairly expensive. This is the one I'll use most of the time for when I'm doing really strong applications, whether it's driveway gates or the gate that I'm fitting is really heavy. I'll use a lot of these with the methods that I showed you. And this, you know, the standard nylon frame fixing, I wouldn't use that much at all, only if I'm fixing this to granite or hard stone. So obviously this is a 4x2. You can use these in 4x4 posts as well. So if you've got any sort of application where you need to fit a 4x4 post, I've actually got a video where I've done that, so you can click that there if you want to see. how you fit a 4x4 post to a wall. The only difference really is the same methods, but the screws are obviously longer and the drill bit that you need to use is longer, so it's basically the same methods. The benefit with a 4x4 post is you can normally dig a hole if there's access, concrete it in as well as fix it to a wall. That just gives you a really solid support for a gate. Right guys, excuse the gate, I just cobbled it together for this video. Basically it's just made out of old sort of timber, but it gives you the idea. So this is the post that we fixed to the wall, and this is how you would hinge the gate. So hinge is attached to this post. So you can see that there. What that does is give you a really strong fixing for the gate, so it will not pull away, you know, like it can if you just attach it to a post or something. So I always try and attach gates to some sort of solid fixing. So in this, you know, say we were going to be building a fence here, you would obviously just put cement another post in there to the correct location, build the fence, and that's our gate. That's it. So that's what these methods would be used for. Also, sometimes you need to attach timbers to walls. Well, I do anyway, to run a fence off of. Again, same methods to be used, but you don't need to use as many fixings, obviously, if it's just a fence. So the only other thing to say, guys, is depending on what type of fixings you use, try and just spread them out. You know, one at this side of timber, one at the other side. Sorry, excuse this glove. You know, just spread them out evenly and put in as many as you think you need. I normally put in 6, so 2 at the top, 2 somewhere in the centre, and 2 around about the bottom. But if you are putting in multiple fixings, always the main stress point is always at the top of the post. So put most of your fixings in the top sort of area where it could pull away from a wall. The bottom's not so important because the weight of the gate's pushing the timber against the wall. It's this area here that needs to be really secure, so even if you put 2, 2 and 2 and then just a couple down at the bottom, that's often the way I do it. Right guys, well, hopefully you found the video helpful. Hopefully I'll give you a few ideas of how to fix a post to a wall. If you found it helpful, please give the video a thumbs up and please consider subscribing. That'd be much appreciated. I've got lots of content about how to make gates, installing fences, fixing posts to walls, stuff like that. So I'll be glad to see you here. So thanks again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.